Hi, I'm Roger. Welcome back to my own little kitchen. Today we're going to be making ravioli. For that I have a ravioli maker. I have the filling that we made in the last episode. And here's the pasta dough already rolled out. I have a bowl of water and a brush to help seal them. A knife to cut it if it's too long, and the scoop to fill it with. You can make many different kinds of ravioli. I like to use something like this because they all come out uniform. You can make them by hand also, but unless you're a pro at it, you'll get big ones, you'll get small ones, you'll get thinner ones, you'll get thicker ones. So I like to do it this way. So I take the dough that I rolled out, start at the edge closest to me, and fold that over. As you can see, it's over the edge, it's overlapping the ridges that help hold it down. That sets on top of it. Push it down for a little bit to make the indentations. Lift it up, and you can see how it's indented. You can use spoons, you can use cups, you can use anything you need to spoon it in. Again, to make things uniform, I try to keep something simple nearby. You want to fill it to the top of the indentation. If you fill it any less, you don't get much filling in there and then no taste. If you fill it much above the edge, it won't close, and it could explode while you're cooking it. And then you have an empty ravioli floating around in your pan and the filling all throughout the water. You'll also want to make sure that you tap it down a little bit so that you get the air pockets out. You don't want air pockets in here. I have the rest of the pasta under a damp towel so that as I'm doing this, that doesn't dry out. Once you roll pasta thin, it dries out very quickly. And if you're a slow poke like me, you count on that. To me, cooking is therapy, so I don't want to rush it. I want to enjoy every bit of it. From the smell of the pasta, the smell of the filling, watching the creaminess of the filling, watching everything get filled up here. Now, either with your fingers or with the brush, you want to do just a little bit of water right along the ridges. That'll help seal it. You don't want it to be dripping into the pasta or into the filling. Just enough. And if you don't have a brush, you can use what God gave you. And then you very carefully fold this over right just a little bit below the edge and over the pasta. So you have a little bit of overhang on this edge. And then you can cut it off. We'll put that there for now. And then you take a rolling pin. Make sure that's out of the way. Make sure you're not running into anything. We'll smooth this out, get as much of the wrinkles out as possible. Push it down a little bit. And roll until you see the edges of the form coming through. That means that it's being cut. It's being cut, it's being sealed. Now you often have to play with it because some corners might be a little ornery, like some of the friends I know. I'm not mentioning names. You have to use the edge to get down the middle. From wear and tear, sometimes the bottom of this can bend a little bit, so it might not be totally flat, which is why you have to play with it a little bit. But you want to make sure that all of the edges, all of the ridges are exposed. A little bit more there. Carefully take off the cut part, because if it's unfortunate that you haven't cut all the way through and you pull, you just undid the ravioli you did. Move this a little bit closer. Then you simply flip it over, give it a light tap around the edge, and most of them will start falling out. Again, I have cornmeal down in this pan. It helps prevent it from sticking as I'm going through this. And cornmeal is also polenta. So it has many uses. You can make cornbread, you can make polenta. That's why I have cornmeal around. All right, so now we'll do the next one. So as you can see, I finished the ravioli. I've got several trays there. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put them in the freezer. Ravioli are always better cooked when they're frozen. Do not thaw them out before you cook them. Otherwise, just like your pasta, they will get mushy. I do have some leftover dough, and what I'm going to do with that, why waste it? I made the trouble of making it. Let me get my flour back. Let me get rid of this. I'm simply going to roll out the dough, since I put my mixer away already, and then cut it by hand. So I've rolled out the dough. It's a little bit thicker than it would have been with the machine, but I'm an old man and it's tiring. I've trimmed it up so it's pretty much a rectangle. Tagliatelle are pretty thick noodles. So I just go ahead Cut it this way. Now, because it's such a small quantity, you can use it in soup for one. You can boil it, cook it, put it in a pan with butter, some milk. You can put it in some chicken stock, make your own soup, quick soup that way, or use it like that. So what I'm going to do is cut this in half, put them in a freezer bag, and save them till I need them. So that's it for this episode. Ravioli, making a little bit more pasta. I'm Roger. Thank you for joining me in my own little kitchen.